I can post on Insta and I can do a TikTok.
Okay, great.
TikTok.
TikTok.
Okay.
What's your Chucky?
Tiki. All right, so camera
Yes.
one. That's only one. All right, you ready?
Yes. Chris, are you
I
ready?
don't have my agenda, but I'm
We'll
sure
wing
we
it.
can.
We'll figure it out. We adapt. We adapt.
We
and
adjust,
we modify
adapt,
and adjust and just move forward. Right, just keep progressing. Okay. Hello and welcome, Try312 community. Welcome to our brand new, possibly future setup for our Try312 podcast YouTube channel. Couch?
Yes.
The party lounge.
The party lounge. Welcome to the Try312 Party Lounge with me, Coach Brian. As always, with me is Coach Joy and Coach Chris. Guys, how is everything going? How was your weekend?
Going good. Weekend went really well.
Chris?
Well, it's the middle of winter, and normally there are not a lot of races, but I did 2 races this past weekend. The Universal Soul Trail Run and the Northwestern Indoor Tri.
Fantastic.
So, busy weekend.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that, I think, here a little bit later. So we're going to try a slightly new format today, and that's going to be mostly revolved around our 312 branding. So today we're going to try something a little bit different. I think we've tried this once before,
Yes.
but we're going to try to formalize it a little bit more today, see how this goes. If you like it, great. If not, tell us what else you would like us to try. But today we're going to try with 3 subjects that are about race distances or races that we know of that are or distances that we know most of you are going to be involved with throughout the year. So we're going to do 3 reports. One report will be about anything indoor related. A second report will be anything related to short course. And our third will be about anything long course related. And there's one specific thing that we think is going to be impacting a lot of our athletes coming up, especially if they're not aware of it, depending on how much long course, aka Ironman, is going to be enforcing this. So it's something that I think will be good to chat about. Then our one topic for today is going to be either a race report or a training tip. So our 3 industry news are 1 race report or training tip, which I kind of think will be sort of blended together a little bit today. And then 2 local key news subjects that I think will be important for everybody to know going forward, at least for the next month. So 3 industry news on 3 key distances in the industry. That could be local, that could be global. 1 race report / training tip, and 2 local key new updates or news for our local community. Is that about right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Sounds about right?
Yeah.
All right.
It works.
Fantastic. So we're going to try it out, see how it goes. But guys, all right, so let's talk indoor. So our first industry news or information about anything indoor. So Chris, anything indoor related that is coming up, especially for those that are asking about when's our next indoor try here with Try312?
Yeah, this weekend we have our first indoor try of the Try312 season finally back. So this Sunday, March 2nd, is our first indoor try. We actually have a virtual option right now going on as well. We're testing out the idea of allowing people to submit results and do a virtual indoor try in the months that we do not have an in-person event. So through February, you can still submit your virtual indoor try results. And then starting in March, so this Sunday, we've got our Try312 event. And then we'll have our April event on April 19th. So this upcoming one's a Sunday race, and then we're going to have a Saturday race as well, both downtown here at Lakeshore Sport and Fitness down by the Illinois Center. And then we have a couple local indoor tries taking place as well, partner events that we'll be plugging as well. A few local clubs that are doing their own indoor tries, just like when we had this past weekend.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So for those that are interested in trying to get into this one this weekend, anything that they would need to know to where to register, how to register, what times are available, what are some of the details?
Yeah, I would go to try312.com. In general, the way we've got the registration set up, if you register early, you get a lower price. If you register later, price goes up over time. If you're part of a club or community, we do set up discount codes for different tri clubs. We also have standing discounts for students, get it $25 off. And volunteers can also get a big discount like that as well. So if you want, you can actually volunteer and then race in the last wave of the day. And that's a fun way to make the indoor tri experience very social as well. If you want to get to meet and mingle with other people besides racing alongside them, the indoor tries are one of the more social triathlon experiences that you can be part of, I think. And so that's what makes them a lot of fun.
What are the distances that they need to be aware of or times that they need to be aware of in the indoor tri?
Yeah, so we have the Tri 312 name not just because the 312 area code is the kind of downtown Chicago area code, but also because we do a multiplier of your results. And so the way the indoor tri works, you do a 10-minute swim, and we multiply the distance you cover by 3 for the swim, and then you do a 20-minute bike, and we multiply that by 1, 3, 1, and then the 2, we multiply your run distance based on how much you cover in 15 minutes. So it's a 10-minute swim, 20-minute bike, 15-minute run. You get standard transition times in between. So you have a 10-minute transition from swim to bike and a 5-minute transition from bike to run. When you add all that up, it's exactly 1 hour. So 60 minutes from start to finish with the transitions. You're doing a total of, 35 minutes of intensity or so? No, 45. Yeah, 45. I can't do my math today.
Mathing is hard.
I got a little dehydrated racing 2 races this past weekend. But yeah, 45 minutes of workout, 15 minutes of transition, so 60 minutes total time. But it's fun. It's beginner friendly. When you do register, I encourage you, if you know other people, encourage them to register alongside you. You can actually pick your start time. I think that's kind of unique for our indoor tries versus others. A lot of them you sign up and you might not find out until about 2 days before when your start time is. With ours, when you register, you pick your actual start time. So if you want to race alongside friends, let them know what wave you're going to sign up for. Try to sign up together. If you need to change waves, just shoot us an email. We can sometimes add people on or give early starts as well. So it can be pretty accommodating in that sense. But yeah, it's a fun
What are
event.
the first start times available for this Sunday?
This weekend, we have start times starting at 8 a.m. until about 10 a.m. So every 30 minutes, another wave. We might add on more if we need to, but that's generally the range for these indoor tries.
Okay, great. And Joy, will you be participating this Sunday?
No, unfortunately not, but I participated in the virtual one.
Okay.
So
How'd it go?
it was fun.
Tell us about the virtual.
So
what was that about?
It's do it on your own based on the honor system, or you can also pull up my Strava to prove that I did it.
Because it's not on Strava.
It did exist, or on Garmin.
Okay.
So 10-minute swim, whenever you want to do it. If you're able to do all 3 in one go, do it in one go. Unfortunately, because of how my schedule is, I did 2-minute swim, and then a few days later, I did the 20-minute bike, and I transitioned quickly to the run outside.
Nice. What day did you run outside on?
When it was super cold.
Why did you do that?
Because I don't like the treadmill.
Fair enough.
And to work on those transition skills that you need to work on in the quote unquote off season.
Yeah.
So
now, when you completed all 3, did you load that up onto the site so that it counted?
Yep. I actually loaded. I actually manually put it onto the site, onto the .com website. You can. There's a link when you sign up for the virtual of where you can put your results in, or I could have just loaded out whatever. What type of file?
Yeah, you can either go on the website, just click on results and submit manually and type in what you
That's
did.
what I did.
Okay. So if you know your time, you can also, if you have a Garmin, if you have any app, you can download the raw data file, different formats, but generally GPX or FIT files if
That's
you're
what it's called.
on Garmin. And you can just drag and drop, and then it'll automatically pull the data from that file. So
Gotcha.
it's a neat way you can kind of do an indoor try on your own. We're also going to do raffle prizes for people that participate in those. And part of my personal goal this year, I just turned 44. I want to do 44 indoor tries with other people this year.
Okay.
So roughly 1 a week for the whole year. And so the virtual tries, if anyone wants to do one of the virtual tries alongside me in person, you can contact me. We can schedule a triathlon date to go and swim, bike, and run together, and I'll arrange for a guest pass. We're actually having some of our swimmers and triathletes from our Thursday night and Monday night swim classes. We're going to do indoor tries starting at the end of the class. So we'll do a 10-minute swim as we wrap up, and then we'll do a quick transition, do a bike and run. just at the gym on our own in a social atmosphere. So if anyone wants to join in on that, when you sign up for the virtual try, you'll actually get an invite to get a free swim class. So you can join the swim class and do your own indoor try. So if you don't have access to a pool, we'll set you up for it.
How long can athletes sign up for the virtual?
So we just did this first one for the month of February. So by this Friday. Is I think the last chance to do one for this one, but we're going to start adding more of these virtual triathlon experiences up there, kind of in between our in-person events. We might do some even going into the tri season. So stay tuned.
All right, fantastic. So now moving on to short course. So anything new, any updates as it relates to Supertri and the Chicago Triathlon coming up this year?
Yes, some very big news. Supertri, we just announced. So for those who don't know, I'm the Chicago Triathlon Community Manager for Supertri, the owners of the Chicago Triathlon. And we just acquired 2 new races in Texas. The big one known as the CapTex Triathlon, the capital of Texas.
Olympic distance triathlon.
That was your first ever Olympic distance. Yeah. I know Chicago Tri was the first ever tri for a lot of people. CapTex, same thing. It's one of the biggest triathlons in the state of Texas, right in the downtown of Austin, Texas, the capital city of Texas. And it's always on Memorial Day Monday, so it kind of kicks off the triathlon summer season, if you will. So we're really excited to have that race on board, and alongside it, Kerrville, which is another triathlon down there in Texas in the Hill Country, really beautiful course. That one is the end of the season in the end of September. So we've got 2 races now that kind of kick off our triathlon season early and wrap it up, part of the Supertri series as a whole. So in addition to the Chicago Triathlon, also the Long Beach Legacy Triathlon, and the Toulouse Triathlon in France. We have an international 5-race series, and we may or may not be adding another race in the next week or 2.
Okay.
So if you stay tuned, the new website for all of these races that are being produced by Supertri is just buy.supertri.com. Okay. And that's where you'll find all the big new races that are kind of being put under this one umbrella to really redefine short course triathlon with some fun experiences.
Nice. Happy to hear that the CapTex is part of the Supertri family, the Supertri brand. Like I said, that was my first Olympic distance triathlon before coming up to Chicago to continue my career, quote unquote, in triathlon. But it was also the triathlon I made sure that I went down to because it was over Memorial Day weekend. I went down there. I actually, in my former life, I worked in that territory, or that was part of my territory. Went down there, stayed with my mom, who was still in Austin at the time, did the CapTex, stayed over, and then drove down to San Antonio to do some work with a sales consultant that was down in that area. And it was during that trip that I convinced my now wife to meet me for our first date. So that is where the CapTex will always have a special place in my heart. As sort of like precipitated everything that has sort of transpired ever since. So,
well, didn't you get a Supertri tri-suit last year?
I did get a Supertri tri-suit last year.
You'll have to go back down to CapTex and race it in your Supertri suit.
I do. Not to brag, but I do feel like I look pretty good in that Supertri kit.
So. It fits very well.
Yes. And that's by who?
Varlo.
Yes. Our partners with Varlo.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll have some more information about, speaking of kits, more information about that later. But anything else as relates to Supertri short course?
No, we'll have a lot of other announcements coming up. So stay tuned. There's also right now in the next roughly month, the Supertri E, the professional race. That's an indoor triathlon, or 3 triathlons back to back to back for the pros. Happening in London on April 5th, I believe.
Okay.
So if you want to watch that broadcast, that'll get you nice and excited for the upcoming Supertri short course season.
All right. Rock on. All right. And now on to our next subject is going to be over to long course. And I don't know how many people have seen this update, seen this information. I know that I am, sort of sparingly involved with like noticing like specific shoes or what people are wearing for different races. I know designs have improved and have changed, like the amount of cushion and foam that we're all running on has dramatically increased over the last couple of years. But interestingly enough, within the last week or two, we just got a new article, one that came out with triathletes.com that is talking about how, and I've got the article right here, that these quote super shoes are on Ironman's banned list for 2025. So these are models from ASICS, New Balance, Hoka, and I'm going to go ahead and read a few more. Yes, Adidas, ASICS, Hoka, New Balance, Puma, and Saucony. So all of those brands, very specific shoes from each one of those brands based on a specific amount of stack height. And I think we'll talk about that a little bit more, but very specific shoes that are now on a banned list from Ironman. Now, from what I understand, is Ironman the only one that is banning shoe size? Tell us a little bit more about, or what do you guys know more about, like what else has been banned from other brands or races, and what should our athletes know going forward?
Well, I think the big thing is, they wanted to set some type of limit to, free performance. They don't want to go to an extreme with people getting crazy shoes with like 5 carbon plates, a foot of foam underneath them. So they had to set a limit, and World Athletics and other sports have started to basically settle on the 40 millimeter stack height as the limit. So as long as the shoe doesn't have more than 40 millimeters of stack height, it is okay to be used in competition. But there are a lot of these shoes out there that generally are now calling them super trainers, whether they have carbon plates or not. If the stack height in the heel is more than 40, or any part of the shoe is more than 40 millimeters, it's technically an illegal shoe from competition. Ironman has listed specific shoes, but the interesting thing is a lot of shoes, depending on your shoe size for men versus women, and just within each gender regardless, the smaller shoe sizes might have less stack height than the bigger shoe sizes. So even though your specific shoe might actually be under that 40 millimeter stack height, if it's on that list, technically it's a banned shoe. So there might be some of those models that actually the smaller shoe size might still technically be under 40 millimeters, but they're being listed as banned shoes. So there's a lot of controversy about it, and it is creating some confusion. But the important thing as an athlete to know is just make sure you look over the rules, especially if you're doing an Ironman event, be familiar with that. Don't be surprised. You might see the same thing at other running events as well. We've already seen people get disqualified. There was a world record recently that was broken, and that got disqualified because someone saw in the finisher photo, the guy who finished first had a shoe that was technically banned. And a couple days after the race, they investigated it, and they're like, yep, can't have that rule. Or can't have that record be there. So they banned and disqualified that result. So whether or not they're actively checking everyone's shoe, no, they're probably not going to do that. But especially if you're winning, placing in the top of your age group, they will be looking, and an official could disqualify you if you're using any of the banned shoes. So
we'll have this article up that we're referring to on our cast right now on the YouTube channel, but then also, just in case anybody has not read it and are watching this right now, that should also be on the screen right now. So the banned super shoes that are at least listed out by Ironman. So the Adidas, and I hope I'm not butchering this too badly, but the Adi Zero Prime X, Prime X Strong, and Prime X Strong. All of those are a 50 millimeter stack height. We also have the ASICS Super Blast, which is a 45 millimeter, ASICS Nova Blast 4, a 42 millimeter, ASICS Nova Blast 5, also 42 millimeter, the Hoka Skyward X, a 50 millimeter, New Balance Fuel Cell Super Comp Trainer, a 47 millimeter stack height, the Puma Mag Max Nitro at 47, and the Saucony Kinvara Pro at 42. So those are the ones that they have listed thus far. I'm not familiar with any others at this point.
And I didn't realize at the time when I bought them, but I have a pair of the Saucony Kinvara Pros. And so I've been using those shoes in a lot of my own training and racing, and now I'm like, I can't use it for an Ironman event.
So, it's interesting with the ASICs. When we watched the Pro Series at Supertri, all of the professionals were wearing the ASICS Super shoes. So Will this transition into short course? We don't know. It might not. It's only time will tell.
Yeah, a lot of it stemmed from when Gustav Eden won the Ironman World Championships in some on, I think it was a Cloud Boom Echo, like a newer prototype.
Yeah.
And it had more than 40 millimeters of stack height. He broke the course record and all that. So that's what really started this. And now it's snowballed to the point where now they're making it as clear as they can about, yes, there's a lot of shoes out there now that are over 40 millimeters. So make sure, it's just like learning any sport that has equipment, they usually have rules about, types of equipment you can't use. So
rule of thumb, read the rule books.
Yep.
Just read everything.
And if in doubt, ask a coach. They'll be able to look it up for you if you're having any doubts or questions.
Yeah, for sure. Any other notes on that for our long course, very specific update from Ironman, from the world of shoe purchasing?
Well, I think the most important thing is, no, we are not going to ban you at the indoor tries. Even
Can't
though
you have a slightly off, not like banded shoe at the moment, but
so you can still use those shoes if you want, at least at our indoor tries.
Just as long as, like, for all of our listeners that are and viewers out there that will be joining us also in Rockford, maybe a good idea to, especially if you have some time, to now break in
a brand new shoe
in case any of your shoes fall on that list. So, all right, cool. All right. On to our next subject, which is the one out of our 3-1-2. And the one thing that we wanted to talk about today is a little bit of a blend of both a race report, but also a little bit of a training tip. And one of the things that we wanted to talk about is like the benefit of training with or joining a tri club, a tri team. And I do believe that one of our college teams here, college clubs, let's be very specific, co-ed college clubs up at Northwestern also hosted an indoor tri. One of your 44, I'm sure, this year.
Yeah.
So Chris, tell us a little bit more about the Northwestern indoor tri experience, and then let's chat a little bit about sort of our experience with, like, either working with, coaching with, or training with a club or a team, and sort of what those benefits are.
Yeah, well, I think, there's no doubt that training with a community is rewarding in a number of ways. One, it can keep you motivated, keep you accountable. It can make the sport a lot more social. And when training is fun, guess what? You're going to do more training. And also with racing. And yeah, I just did the Northwestern indoor tri. A lot of the collegiate club teams produce their own indoor triathlons for their collegiate clubs. It's a way they can kind of qualify to go to the Collegiate Club Nationals. And the one that Northwestern puts together is actually one of the, I think, the biggest indoor tri, I believe, I could be wrong, but in the state of Illinois. At over 110 participants, I think.
And how many of those were other colleges, and how many of them were just local triathletes coming in?
So I was looking, so I was curious. It's really, they're not promoted that well outside of the collegiate circles.
Okay.
So when I looked over the start list, I think I saw only 5 triathletes who are not part of a collegiate club team, myself included.
Were they all looking at you going like, what college does he go to?
Yeah, who's that old guy with the beard? Yep. But
you're a non-traditional student.
Yeah. But I've been communicating with the Tri Club team, and we actually had some swag from the Chicago Triathlon that we were giving out to participants. So, but it's fun. There's even staff, faculty participate in those indoor tries, cool. Alumni. Yeah. So it's a neat way where we see a lot of alumni reconnecting with their collegiate club teams. But also, I mean, they had teams from Michigan State, they had Ohio State. They're traveling 5-6 hours to do an indoor tri, and they're bringing their whole team. And it's fun. When they're running on the indoor track, there's a whole cheer squad on the side doing like team school chants to cheer on their teammates and high-fiving each other and whatnot. So it's a really fun type of atmosphere, I think, and it's definitely something not to be overlooked. If you're looking for a racing experience that's unique and motivating this time of year, that's probably one of the best opportunities out there right now.
Nice. Joey, what's been your experience with working with or participating in and working with, training with a club?
Number one, you have the accountability, because they expect you to be where you need to be at, and you expect them to show up. And it's that community, because triathlon, if you really think about it, you are solo most of the time because you can't draft, Please don't draft. You can talk to each other and have fun on the run, but it's mostly a solo individual event. And when you're just training with people, it's just like they're dealing with the same things that you're dealing with. Oh my God, I don't want to do this ride. This ride sucks. Oh my God. Did you get chafing on your outfit? Like, what gel are you eating? Because I'm sick of my gels. I'm sick of my nutrition. What nutrition are you doing? You get to bounce ideas off of people. You get to share same experiences, figure out where everyone is racing at, and you might want to join them in their race, or they might want to join you in your race. And it's just that community, that familiarity. So if you don't have, like, most of the time when I race, I don't have any family members, but I have my friends, and they're cheering me on and waiting at the last minute because I'm usually the last one. So, but it's a good way of just staying motivated, because being in the Midwest, and okay, right now we're in a heat wave. We're in full spring part 2, but it's been super cold and no one wants to go outside in the cold to run or to bike or even to go
Jump
to a
in the
pool.
water.
Like, you get into the pool and then you realize, I got to go back outside. Oh crap. So having that one person or multiple people is going to help leaps and bounds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know that when I'm out there on the race, and especially the last couple of years where it's been predominantly 70.3s for me, I've purposely chosen the races because I had athletes that were part of our team, my athlete community that were doing that race, and just knowing that they're out there doing the same thing. We may not see them the whole time because you may be on totally different parts of the course, especially on longer courses like that. That you just may be like maybe already just starting the bike ride. Somebody might be still on the swim. You might be finishing the bike and they're midway through that bike, etc. But just knowing that they're out there, and I know, like, as slow as I am on the run, I typically see at least everybody at some point on the run, whether they're finishing already ahead of me or maybe they're a little bit behind. But at least at some point, we do get to see each other, and just knowing that they're doing well, you see each other. There's that little acknowledgement, even though it might be just a quick little.
And it lifts your spirits,
Yeah.
especially when you're like really feeling like, oh my God, how much more do I have? And
Yeah.
you're just miserable. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, you're looking good. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, I got this.
Or even when you go, hey, great job, you're looking good. Like, you're like, oh, that felt good for me.
Yeah.
To acknowledge that somebody else is like out there doing it, doing well, hopefully finishing all that. But yeah, no, I think having the accountability buddies is super important. And I know for someone like myself too, that is trying to avoid the water when it's like negative 10 degrees outside, knowing that, if I had a group, if I had a team, they're like, hey, let's everybody get there. Let's make sure everybody shows up, like keep everybody accountable, keep everybody motivated, knowing that everybody's still in that same boat. So like, hey, we're all going through this. But even just the workouts themselves, like, it may be hard getting there, but once you're there and once you're actually doing the workout, man, that goes by so much faster and it's so much more fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, you get much better, from a performance standpoint, you end up improving your fitness a lot more. It's been shown time and time again when you're training with other people, whether they're a little bit faster, a little bit slower, they're there motivating you to get that extra lap in, to get that extra repeat in. And a lot of clubs and communities too also have their own, training programs, their own coaches, structured workouts, and just having a training plan and having other people to do it with and people to hold you accountable to it really helps.
And just to piggyback on what you were saying earlier too, Joy, about being able to bounce off ideas, but also in a lot of cases, you'll have veterans that are there, and always every year there's a new or several new batch of triathletes that are coming into it not knowing anything. So just having some veteran experience in there,
That knowledge.
the knowledge to be able to say, hey, I've gone through all of this the same way as you did. I made all the mistakes. I didn't do all these things right. Just being able to just sort of help guide them, coach them, and say, hey, listen, do this, don't do that. Take your time. Like, whatever that knowledge that they can impart is supremely beneficial. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say for folks who are looking to get involved in a club, if you're not part of a club, I know there's a lot of good resources out there. There's a lot of good websites where you can find clubs and communities. USAtriathlon.org has a club and coach finder. The Ironman website, if you create an account on Ironman.com, go in, make sure you affiliate with your tri club. And that way your results will actually help the team, count towards, whether it's prizes and swag or competitions. There's usually some different types of club perks. Just like the Chicago Tri, we have a whole series of different club competitions. And so make sure that you affiliate with your clubs. Trifind.com is another good website that lists a lot of clubs and communities. So if you're not part of one, get involved with one. I know for Tri 312, we have an open Ironman Tri Club, just the Chicago Tri 312 Iron Monsters, we call it.
Yeah.
And anyone can join. So if you want to join us, if you're doing Rockford, if you're doing another race, just want to be part of a community, come join us on race day, join us at an indoor try, and say hello.
There you go.
Excellent. Okay. Quick news stories to update everybody on things that are coming up for the month of March before our next broadcast. First things first, coming up in just a few weeks is going to be the next Chicago Pool School, sponsored and facilitated by TriDot. Also yours truly. So that one will be coming up on March 8th and 9th. And there has been a time change for anybody that's familiar with how they've been before, in order to help allow more athletes from coming from out of town to fly in, come in early. On say Saturday, we are doing a time change where the first day won't start until the afternoon. The start time is at
3 p.m. So 3 to 7 on Saturday, and then on Sunday it will resume to that 8 to 12. So just in case anyone has to catch a flight in the afternoon, you're right there. It's going to be not in Chicago proper. We're going to be in Bensonville, so it's close to O'Hare Airport.
Cool. And I'm not familiar with that facility. If you
I'm
guys,
not either.
The Water's Edge Aquatic Center. It was actually just less than a mile away from where we did our trail run this weekend. So it's literally right by O'Hare. So if you know where O'Hare is, just directly south of one of the runways, essentially. So pretty close, easy to get to, and traffic is not too bad.
Hopefully air traffic's going to be okay. I didn't say nothing. Okay, cool. So, but if you guys have any questions about it, all three of us do coach with Pool School and with TriDot.
And there's only a few spots left, so there's less than 7 spots left.
Yeah, it's almost sold out, actually.
Awesome. Cool. But if you have questions about it, I know we've talked about it numerous times on the channel, but please reach out if you have any questions to any of us, or message us on the site or our webpage.
So your socials.
Yeah. And then the second thing that we are going to be discussing is we have a new tri-kits that we are almost finished, ready to go, and that the store will be open sometime next week. Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
So be on the lookout, just in case you need a new tri-suit. Yes.
And also looking for like a new club to represent.
A very cool Chicago-themed tri-kit that Brian masterminded together. So thank you for putting that together, Brian.
Of course. I think we were waiting on just a few more little elements to fine tune, but the goal is that we've been working with our friends with Barlow, of which, Joy, you are an ambassador of.
Yes, I am an ambassador of Team Barlow. The suits, ladies, actually are very comfortable. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Like Brian said, he said his was comfortable. I have one also from Supertri. Very comfortable, and be on the lookout. Start spending some coins.
Yeah. I mean, now's about the time to start opening up the pocketbook to various things that you will need for race day.
And to test it out before race day, because we never do anything new on race day.
Yes. Excellent point.
Barlow is also the official kit provider of a lot of the Supertri kits. Yeah. So the Chicago themed kits you'll see at the Chicago Tri are all Barlow, and I think Team Barlow is making the Chicago Tri one of their big team events for the year.
It is a team event.
If you've ever seen Barlow,
all things adjacent.
Yes. They bring a DJ, they bring the party to the races. So
the DJ is local to Chicago, just saying.
Our kits will be an extension of their community and kit as well. So it'll be a big party at the Chicago Tri this year.
A very beautiful red, white, and blue. So that, in case anybody else is looking for fun activities that also sort of are surrounding the red, white, and blue, go see Captain America: Brave New World.
Yes, please go.
It was fantastic. So we all give 2 thumbs up. So I mean, I think that's it from our end. Joy, anything else?
No, nothing at all.
Chris, anything else?
Season's ramping up. We got indoor tri this weekend. We got Pool School the next weekend. I think we got Shamrock Shuffle right around the corner.
Well, you guys have Shamrock Shuffle. Yeah. I'm in DC for a half marathon.
The running season is right around the corner, so a lot of big local races are happening. And it's warming up, so can't complain.
Rock and roll. All right. Well, that will conclude our February broadcast for our Multi-Sport Monthly. Thank you guys for being here. Hope we gave you some good updates and news on what's to come. And over the next 3 to 4 weeks, we'll be back once again and checking in on everything that is fit for news and things to discuss in the month of March. And then, of course, the next key previews of what's to come for end of March and going into April and May. For that, thank you guys for being here. Guys, have a great rest of your day.
You too.
And let's get everybody out to that indoor try on Sunday.
Yeah, see you there.
All right.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.